the other important thing is to explain contributionism is not easy, because it does turn everything we've ever been taught and everything we understand on its head. Because the way the world works now basically is a pyramid structure, right? Where very few people control the large numbers that work for very few people and make more and more money for the very few people at the top. Now, as we know, pyramid schemes can only last for so long until they implode and they collapse. But contributionism, you take the pyramid and you turn it on its head. And basically what you get in contributionism, the model that you get is, for example, if I was a shoemaker in a capitalistic society, my modus operandi is, how cheaply can I make a shoe that's going to break down as quickly as possible, so that the person has to buy a new shoe, and I must be able to sell it for as much as possible. So how cheaply can I make it? How much can I possibly sell it for to maximize my profits? But it must only last for so long, so that the person has to come and buy a new pair of shoes very, very soon. That's pretty much a capitalistic kind of way of thinking. In contributionism, that same shoemaker would say the following: how well can I make a pair of shoes that the person that uses them will never have to buy another pair of shoes again in his life? It's a very, very fundamentally different approach to life. Now, if you take that approach to everything, and you understand how this turns a pyramid upside down, and it spreads the base of knowledge and information, science, knowledge, information, technology, everything. It spreads like wildfire. It's an exponential growth of knowledge and information. Because remember, there is no financial benefit and no financial gain in this structure. And I can already hear what you're thinking. You're saying, okay, well, how's this going to work? How are we going to afford everything? You see already, how are we going to afford everything? Who's going to pay for it? Immediately, we automatically get sucked back into the capitalistic way of thinking. It takes quite a while to get out of that mold and start thinking in a true contributionist way. Basically, contributionism means that everybody works together for a common purpose. Everyone does a little bit for the greatest benefit of all. So if everybody contributes just a teeny weeny bit, the abundance of everything on planet Earth is quite astounding. And I mean astounding. The numbers and the maths we've done on this, it is absolutely spectacular when you see how little the global population has to do as individuals to create an insane abundance of everything you could possibly imagine. And this is a very important point, because at this stage you realize that contributionism is not just a quick solution to a problem we have, but in fact what it is a system, a socio-political system that is actually intended and aimed for people that aspire to higher consciousness, to the growth of consciousness and the spreading of consciousness, and growing towards a high understanding of our place in the universe as spiritual beings trapped in these physical bodies, spiritual beings having a physical experience on a planet called Earth, striving for higher understanding and higher consciousness. And that's what contributionism is really for. It is a blueprint and a foundation for that kind of thinking, and a springboard and a foundation to start moving towards that kind of lifestyle. So it's directly linked to our Creator, to our creation, and providing many answers, hopefully, through the understanding of how beautifully this can work together. And I think from now on, I'm going to start introducing you to different aspects of contributionism. This was just a short introduction so that you understand where I'm going to go with this. And now we're going to go into the deeper, more important fundamental cornerstones and foundations of how this thing can function, why it is not going to fall over. And this is a very important thing. in the 4 years of research I've done here is that everybody is concerned that it's not going to work, it's going to fall over, it's going to be exploited and so forth. Well, if I'm a lazy son of a bitch, I'm just going to sit on my ass and do nothing. Well, these are the obvious kind of things that people ask because that's how conditioned we have become through the capitalistic system. Remember, and this is a great example, okay? Remember that in contributionism, everybody gets everything for free. Everything is available to everyone. From scientists that need to build rockets and spaceships to go to the furthest corners of our cosmos, to shoemakers, to chefs, to glass blowers, to anyone you can imagine, people that want to plant plants, to people that want to look after other people's children. You name it. It is a multifaceted, well-integrated system that provides a place for each and everyone. Because that is exactly how it's structured. It is also very important to understand that it is not a majority rules system. In fact, contributionism is a very scary concept at first, because it actually, at its fundamental level, it means that minority rules. But you see, when you take the capitalistic principle out of this, you realize that minority rules is the only way forward, because there are so many diverse people, so many diverse vocations, so many diverse passions, art forms, interests in the world, that you cannot have a majority rule system. That is just bullying others into submission. Okay? And the fact that we've been so conned and confused that capitalism and democracy gives us freedom just shows us how well this game has been played and how well we've been brainwashed and conditioned into believing these things like a religion, that money rules all, that if you work your way into a career and you're very successful, you can build yourself this nest egg and then you die, and then what? Okay, remember, this is not, from the moment we are born till the moment we die, this life that we lead as people, as spiritual beings trapped in these physical bodies, this life that we lead is all about money. From the first breath you take to the last breath you breathe out, it's all about money. That cannot be the purpose of our life on this planet. People, you've got to contextualize this. You've got to digest this. You've got to come to terms with this. It's not about money. It's about experiencing life, growing your soul, understanding and yearning and trying to tap into this thing we call consciousness and the higher knowledge of our place and in the equilibrium on the universe and our place in it. Please do not get caught up in this thing believing that money is important and the root of all things. We do not need money. Now, the next little introduction, the next little episode, I'm going to take you on a journey of what are the fundamental blocks of contributionism, why is it not going to fall over, and so forth. Remember, everyone is precious. We are all one. We are all part of the same being, the same universal consciousness. We are not separate. We are not divided. We've been told and conned to believe that we are separate and that we're divided. The moment that we understand we are all one, part of the same universal consciousness and the same universal being, we'll go a lot further towards embracing this philosophy and understanding that if you hurt others, you're actually hurting yourself. So let's leave it there. Let's leave it there for now, and we'll get to the fundamental building blocks of contributionism in the next episode.